What's up, y'all? Cam and Chris.
Cris and
Back
Cam.
again.
Back
The real
again.
Chief Keef story. We've been doing all these Chief Keefs, so I was like, let's see what this little young nigga about. Ooh, can I say that?
Can you, no, first of all, you're going to say YN now. I don't think
Oh,
you
yeah.
say that.
YN.
But
He
still,
not a YN no more.
exactly. I'm about to say that. So you can't say that either. So I don't, just Chief Keef.
He almost
Guess what?
because they said YNs are from something to something.
Yeah.
Then you got unks, which is from 35 to 45. And then from 45
It's
to
old
55
school.
is OG.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's watch this, man. We always talk
I ain't
about
back
something.
at 100% either, but I'm back just for Chief Keef.
Oh yeah,
I'm only
she's
back
still
for Chief
sick,
Keef.
so y'all.
But
was talking.
I saw the comments, so I saw, I watched, who told, how she gonna not watch it?
Right.
He better make me feel better.
Hey. That beat,
Oh, look at his name. Keef for real.
for real?
For real. That was his name for Keef for real.
Cozart?
What?
That beat was born.
Keith Cozart was born August 15, 1995 in Chicago, Illinois. Named after his uncle Keith Carter, who was also known by Big Keef. He was raised in the Parkway Garden Apartments, or O Block. O Block is located in the Washington Park neighborhood in the South Side. It's known for being one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous blocks in the city. The area is predominantly controlled by the Black Disciples, or BDs, which Keith would become associated with at a young age. His passion for music has always been there, and he recalls
that.
memories as a
What is
5-year-old
that?
freestyling on his mom's.
There must be a stick in his mouth, right? Like a little twig. He pretending like he's
If-
smoking.
If I see this picture, I know
Is that
his
really
life
him?
is not going in the right direction already.
Because he already got locks. Is this really him?
That don't look like that other picture.
Yeah,
look like
that
it.
other
This
picture
did.
looked like him.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
karaoke machine.
That might be
He would
Big
put blank
Unk.
tapes in the machine and record himself to weak-ass beats, in his own words. But it wasn't until
Oh, that's his own
2008, when
words.
Keith was 12 years old, that he started recording full-length songs and releasing them. This was after he met DJ Ken, a Japanese music producer who had just moved to the United States and was living in Chicago now. DJ Ken would meet him through his uncle Big Keef while walking his dog one day. The two became
had a
acquainted
dog?
and started.
Who was walking their first of all?
We
From
can't
where part of
comment on
Chicago?
every little thing.
I'm sorry.
We
but
gotta enjoy it. But
we lived in this area. I just want to
Where-
know who was walking. Were they walking the dog around Chief Keef house, or were they walking
where
the
was
dog?
this Asian Japanese immigrant
He was a producer.
walking by Chief Keef uncle?
What, right? Were they walking in his area or in their area? Were the walkers? We ain't never seen people just walking their dog.
And what would make them talk to each other?
And what happened? Right? What
You know,
happened?
you look like a producer.
Yeah. What? How did that come about?
It's-
Okay, we don't know the whole.
talking about making music together. Over the course of a year or two, they would record multiple songs while learning the process.
Okay.
That's cool too. They grew up basically music.
In 2009, at just 14 years old, Keith and DJ Ken released a small mixtape titled UF Overload, and birthing the beginning of Chief Keef. The tape has been somewhat erased off the internet, but you can still find a few songs online. The tape includes the song Dead and Gone, which he wrote for a girl named Kita who had passed away. The song showcases a very early version of his rap style before the
That's Kita, the one that died from O Block, because they be rapping about it. And some of the ops be dissing.
What happened with her?
I don't know, but they be dissing her and they be
What?
dissing Odie, who is O Block named after.
up-tempo drill beats. But in 2010, DJ Ken and Sosa dropped Moolah Express, which showed more of his drill side and was a step up from his first mixtape. This year he would drop out of Diet High School for somewhat unknown reasons, but this is also a time where he was getting heavily caught up in the streets. In early 2011, he was arrested on charges for heroin manufacturing and distribution. As a juvenile, he was determined to be delinquent rather than guilty, and he was placed on house arrest. He continued to work on music and released 2 mixtapes in 2011. First, The Glory Road, and shortly after, Bang. After the release of Bang, Chief Keef had the whole city of Chicago
We
taking
did that
notice of
song.
his hard work. The mixtape started buzzing in the streets and would only gain more popularity after the Bang music video was released online. Chief Keef wasn't just a 16-year-old writing lyrics he thought sounded cool, but rather documenting the life he was really living in Southside Chicago. Shortly after the release of Bang, he found himself in some trouble once again.
Keef is really Keith Cozart. Earlier this year, Cozart did 2 months in jail for probation violation. Probation from a conviction.
I like that he spelled it with the F, because that's how people call. That's how
Keef,
people say it.
right.
They be like, "What up, Keith?"
Yeah.
Cozart did 2 months in jail for probation violation. Probation from a conviction for pointing a gun at a police officer.
In late 2011, he was leaving his grandmother's house holding a coat over his hands. A police officer stopped him. Keef dropped his coat, flashed the handgun at an officer, and ran away. The officer chased him down the block to where Chief Keef turned around several times, pointing the gun at him, causing the officer to shoot a number of rounds at him, just barely missing. He was eventually ran down and caught with a loaded weapon. He was arrested on multiple counts of aggravated assault and unlawful use of a firearm. He was held at the Cook County Juvenile Detention Center until a judge sentenced him to home confinement at his grandmother's. While confined to his grandmother's house, all he could do was perfect his craft. It was here that he would meet another producer through Facebook and mutual friends, and this would change his sound forever. Chief Keef and Young Chop would meet up at Keef's grandmother's and begin collabing, recording a number of songs, but it wouldn't take long for the two to make a hit. On March 6, 2012, Chief Keef uploaded a new song to his YouTube titled Don't Like, featuring Lil Reese. He even included the words leaked at the end of the title in an attempt to promote the song. Something he did a lot in his early career, which did in turn help the song gain more views. The song took off in the city and quickly gained over 50,000 plays on YouTube. This was enough to catch the attention of Chicago veteran Kanye West. Kanye West wasted no time hopping on the remix with Pusha T, Big Sean, and Jadakiss, bringing tens of millions of new listeners to Chief Keef's music. A local party promoter called it the perfect Chicago song because people just hate everything out here. At 16 years old and what seemed like overnight, the name Chief Keef became a household name. With all eyes on him, he released 4 mixtapes in a 6-month period leading up to his debut album. This started a massive bidding war between labels who were looking to sign the 16-year-old superstar. He ended up landing a record deal through Interscope, which also came with a second deal for his Glory Boys entertainment crew, putting his entire team on the map. Although his deal would amount to over $6 million over 3 years, it came with a lot of strings attached as well. If his debut album didn't sell 250,000 copies by a certain date, Interscope had the rights to drop Chief Keef. Finally Rich was released December 18, 2012 and sold 50,000 copies his first week, debuting at number 29 on the Billboard. The tape included multiple hit songs like Love Sosa, Don't Like, and Hate Being Sober. Although these numbers were impressive for a kid who was living with his grandma just a year before, he didn't meet the sales numbers Interscope envisioned. This would mark the beginning of an awkward relationship between Sosa and his label. He would often miss shows for no apparent reason and continued to have run-ins with the law. He violated his probation multiple times, giving critics the impression he may not last long in the music world. In 2013, Chief Keef continued to stay one of the most sought-after artists, who never left his fans without new music. He even had a feature on Kanye West's album, Yeezus. He dropped an additional 3 mixtapes that year, which included the highly anticipated Bang 2, which was released on his 18th birthday. The tapes would all do pretty well, but they also started to receive lower reviews, not just from music critics, but fans as well. It was apparent his flows that were so outspoken and dominant from his album and prior mixtapes were lacking in his newer releases. He went public stating his former lean addiction and bad mixing contributed to the lack of quality.
That's what happened on them songs. I'll be like,
That's what I
In
said.
March 2014, Keef released the first official single from Bang 3 entitled Fuck Rehab, featuring his fellow Glo Gang artist and cousin, Blood Money. Unfortunately, just a few weeks later, Blood Money would pass away to gun violence in Chicago. He continued to work on new mixtapes in between tours and started making beats as a new hobby. He would showcase this on all 3 of his projects in 2014, especially the tape Back from the Dead that he produced 80% by himself. But in October of 2014, he announced on Twitter that he had been dropped from Interscope Records. He made the decision to relocate from Chicago to LA, where he picked up more hobbies like art collecting and old school arcade games. Even though getting dropped from his major deal may have sounded like bad news, it seemed to be good for Sosa, and if anything it motivated him to go even harder into 2015. In the midst of all this, he would release a music video for Ain't Missin' You, which was a tribute to his late cousin Blood Money, aka Big Glo. Just a week later, he would lose another Glo Gang member, Capo, to a drive-by shooting. This helped assure that he made the right decision by moving to LA. This was the start of a quiet era for Chief Keef, and he basically stopped dropping music altogether. In March of 2016, he tweeted that he was retiring from music. This would last over a year into early 2017 when he finally returned with his 2017 mixtape. After returning from retirement, Chief Keef has gone on to release an additional 20 projects from 2017 to present, including huge production credits like Lil Uzi's Chrome Heart tags. In January of 2018, Sosa would once again find himself burying a cousin and icon Fredo Santana after he suffered a seizure. Despite losing countless brothers, family members, and friends, Chief Keef has managed to stay relevant almost a decade after his breakthrough song. He's been credited with influencing an entire generation of rappers after him, changing the sound of hip-hop and being one of the first people to put Chicago drill on the map.
Wait a minute. Oh, that went fast.
See,
Okay,
that was a short one. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
I know it got to be way more. Go ahead, though.
So they offered him the $6 million deal, but he had to sell so many records, 250,000 records
In the first,
6 months. What was it? Something.
I don't know. Probably
But then they
first
dropped
week.
him because it didn't happen. But within that time period, or did he move to LA after they dropped him? Because how did he still end up going? I mean, like after the record label dropped him, you would think he would just, which is good that he didn't just give up and be like,
Oh no, that's when you feel free as an artist because now your money coming to you. You just gotta find
right,
out how
I
to
get
do
it. But he was, at this time, he was still having a hard time with them. They were saying that he wasn't putting out the best music, but yet he still was able to, I guess, stay. Yeah, he was able to, first of all, live in LA and stay living in LA. Look like he living a good life in LA. You know what I mean? It's just like you would think that after the record label dropped somebody, you would think it they'll just think that's it, it's over. But he was still able to maintain his self.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, right? It wasn't just, never mind.
Yeah, we don't know what maybe he had other ways of getting money too at that time. So that didn't
Or
hurt
did
him.
he get at least so much money out the $6 million that he was still able to take that and build from that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Especially,
of course,
I guess he could go on tour and
still
get
had to give
money
him
that
something.
way.
Yeah, they had to give him something out the deal if they, there'd be some type of stipulations to that. But that was a short story. I thought it was gonna be way more details, but
Right. It can't be detailed in 8 minutes.
he was born in 95.
Smoking blunts at 3. We saw.
After we saw.
Talk
Right.
about some bike.
Oh my God, that was okay. Somebody y'all can add on to the story.
They gonna
of
send us
course.
one. They gonna be like, y'all gotta look at this, the real one.
Yeah.
It'll be a 9 hour.
But that was
we gonna be
informative because I just asked you. So you think his real name is actually Keith?
Keith,
I
yeah.
asked that the other day.
Right. Or Chief. Keith.
No, I said it got to be Keith.
Yeah.
Keith Cozart. I don't know. You know any Cozarts?
Not one.
That's a name
That's a
for
name
you.
for you.
Yeah. All right. Good story.
All right. Thank y'all for watching. Like the video. Give us a better one, I think.